If you are tired of working a 9 to 5 job, hear me out. I've got a solution for you. Start an online business. Imagine a shopping mall with 4 billion shoppers. That's the internet for you. With low startup costs and huge potential for growth, the future of entrepreneurship is digital. I have conducted over 2,000 workshops involving hundreds and thousands of people around the world. And if they can make it work, so can you. In my free upcoming seminar, I will teach you the step-by-step approach in building and scaling an online business. To keep it focused and engaging, there are limited seats. So sign up now and I will see you there. One more time. First of all, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Ascender. Tonight's session is talking about business. Okay, business for around the world is almost the same. So I welcome partners from Vietnam, from Singapore, from Malaysia, as well as from Hong Kong. And if you are from Italy or in other parts of the world and you happen to have this link, please, thank you, welcome for investing your precious time for tonight. Now, what is more important, tonight's topic is all on why you should do an online business income with Ascender. First of all, in order to understand this, let's take a closer look. In our society, there is a group of people that is making $2,000 to $5,000. All right, everybody knows there's an average. I'm going to use Singapore as the base, and then if you are from Vietnam, if you are from KL, we just translate that probably will be 2,000 ringgit to 5,000 ringgit, depending on where you are from. All right. So over here, once you understand there's a baseline here, there are also a group of people that is actually making this pricing, this amount was about $10,000 a month, all right? And there are also a group of people that is making $100,000 a month, okay? And there's also another bigger group that is making $1 million a month. Now, if you take a closer look, there's actually a gap. There's a gap between a $2,000 to $5,000 income earner, and there's also another gap between 10,000 and 100,000, and there's even a bigger gap between the 100,000 to $1 million income earner. Now, having said this, the key questions you have to ask yourself: which level are you in? Are you at this level, or are you at this level, or are you at this level, or better still, you're at this level? No matter which level you are in or we are in, there is always a room for us to improve. Now, the key question we have to ask ourselves logically: if we all have 24 hours a day and 365 days in a year, what is the difference between these people, and the $1 million income earner? Okay, take a closer look. There's a gap between here and here. Now, what is this gap actually? All right, and here to here as well. So, knowing this and identifying this, you have to ask ourselves. You have to ask, and we have to ask ourselves: is the $2,000 and $5,000 income earners mindset? Okay, the first thing I'm going to say here will be mindset. The way they think, are they the same or are they different? The answer is very obvious. It is always $2,000 to $5,000 income earner is very different from the guy that's making $10,000 and different from the guy that is making $100,000 a month, and obviously it's very different from the guy that's making $1 million. So if that is the case, then you have to ask yourself: are you thinking like $1 million, or are you thinking like a $2,000 to $5,000? Now the key here is most people have the habit, they want to make sure they make the $1 million, then they will start thinking like $1 million. Well, the truth is it's not the case. If you don't think like $1 million, you will never make a decision like $1 million. Okay, let me share with you a little, I zoom in a little bit more. For example, if the mindset is at $2,500 to $5,000 and you were hoping to make $10,000 using a $2,500 to $5,000 mindset, do you think it's difficult? The answer is yes. Trying to think using $2,500 to $5,000 thinking and trying to make $100,000, it is even more difficult. Using $2,500 to $5,000 trying to make $1 million is even worse. That's the reason why most people who want to be a millionaire, everyone to shoot up their hands. Yeah, I want to be a millionaire. However, who actually made it out of 100? Maybe only 2. Yeah, or maybe 3. So the top 3% in a sense. Okay? Now, mindset is one part of it. What happens to the second part? Another part that is very, very important is skill set. Alright? Skill set. I hope you can see the blue color one. Alright? Skill set. Now, many people want to make $1 million, but they are using a $2,500 to $5,000 skill set, hoping to make $10,000. And using $2,500 to $5,000 trying to make $100,000 or $1 million is literally very, very different. Someone that's able to sell you a product doesn't mean they are able to run a big restaurant. Okay, I'll give you an example. Many people understand chef. Or to be a good chef, you have to be very good in the cuisine that you're preparing, very good in cooking, very good in a lot of stuff in preparation. But pull the guy out of the kitchen and then let him run a restaurant. The skill set that he has in the kitchen does not apply outside of the kitchen. So can you imagine a guy that's very good in cooking and being a master chef does not equal to he's able to run a franchise of 10, 20, even hundreds in terms of restaurant, but that is called a business ability. It's different from cooking, all right? So if that is the case, understanding where you want to go, if you are aiming for $1 million, you cannot be cooking by yourself. $1 million a month, definitely there is a system that is bigger than yourself. There's a system that is actually running without you being inside. Logical, right? One person only have 24 hours. You can't be doing everything by yourself. Okay? That is a logic and the baseline for establishment. Once you understand, if you set your goal to make $1 million a month, that means it is not about you anymore. It is the entire system, the entire equation has to be running smoothly without you being inside. Okay? Understanding this, let's zoom in on this entire society. Alright? Many people ask me, so if this is the case, everybody knows that one of my teachers is actually Robert Kiyosaki, the author from Rich Dad Poor Dad. Okay? So basically, he mentioned in the whole society, they are divided into 4 different quadrants. Okay? And the 4 quadrants are what we call E, S, B, and I. Now, what does it mean? It means employee is the one that sells their time. To them, when they put in their time, alright, so let me show you. If today you're an employee, basically being in the E quadrant, can you see the lines here? Can see, right? Basically, you may start at some level here, where your income is maybe $2,000, and then with time and experience, you grow up some more, and then you get another level of promotion, and then you get another increase in salary. And then you go up some more, there's another increment. But there will be a plateau, okay? The day when you decided to retire, stop working, straight away your income drops immediately. So basically you are as useful when the company bosses don't fire you. And in today's world, with the COVID-19 since 2020 until now, there are many people's income has been cut by half, some cut by 30%, some cut by 40%. Alright? Even with the government subsidy, the income is still being cut, and the promotion, your advancement, every plans that you thought that you are making and progressing is affected. Alright? So being an employee, always remember you are as secure when the company is still there. When the company still have the budget to hire you. When the company still have the budget to use you. The minute when the company doesn't have the budget or cannot even sustain or fold, basically your security go down the drain together with him in that sense. Okay? So understanding this, you are only as secure as the company being there or the boss still needs you. Okay? Now once you understand this, then the next one is called self-employed. Being a self-employed means you are your own boss. Yes, of course, you creating a job for yourself. So for this group of people, who belongs to this group because the curve is like that? So in terms of time exchange, your money is the same. That means you put in amount of how much of time? You put in 8 hours here, you get 8 hours of money. You put in 10 hours, you get 10 hours of money. You put in 16 hours, you get 16 hours of money. So having said this, you realize that you cannot afford to be sick. Now today, who belongs to this group? For example, there is a huge group of pilot in the beginning of 2020. When that happens, a lot of pilots decided to go into Grab, they go into Grab driving, they go into food delivery, Panda food, and everything else. Why? Everybody is going in to do this now. Of course, there are stories that in Grab, being a Grab driver, they make $7,000 or $8,000. However, everybody knows when you are going 100% for this, okay, you cannot afford to be sick. You cannot afford to have, let's say you need to pick up your children and whatever, you need to manage your time properly. Even if I give you superhero, you wear it underwear like the Superman outside, you can't work 24 hours a day. Maximum you can do 8, 10, 19 hours, 16 hours a day, okay? So always remember this, self-employed insurance agent belongs to this group, real estate belongs to this group, consultant, trainer, char kway teow store owner, basically they belong to this group. They cannot afford not to open, they cannot afford not to do anything. So this is slightly better than this? No, because this sense of security, you do, don't do, you get paid, alright? As well as the company is, the bigger the company, then probably the more security. All government servant, alright? For self-employed is very important, there's no sense of security, you work, you get paid. If you don't work, basically, sayonara, alright? Now, once you understand this, you need to understand business quadrant. Business quadrant is very different. Business quadrant, in the beginning, after you put in all the money and all the time, the curve is like this. Okay, the curve is like this. It means in the beginning you probably minus because you are pumping in money, you are pumping in time with no obvious return in the beginning. But when you build the system, so that many people can work for you, that's where it will goes up and then it will be like that. So the time spent remains the same, okay? The time spent remains the same, but the income actually goes up due to the system, right? McDonald's franchise is part of this. All franchising system runs on this, okay? All distribution system runs on this, all right? Next one, investment is the same thing, all right? If you are an investor, in the beginning you're going to pump in a lot of money just to test out what are the strategy that you invest able to work. And in the beginning you probably will lose a lot of money, okay, by trying to establish the system. And then after that, then when you stabilize, the time spent, it's there and the income continually goes up because it multiplies, especially based on compounding interest and everything else. So having said this, the key question is, where do you think you want to go? Now based on this level of income in the society, you realize that most people at this level, they are actually what we call a employee quadrant. And most people at this level, they are what we call the S quadrant, self-employed. And most people at this level, they are what we call the business owner. And most people at the $1 million mark are usually what we call the investor. Okay? ESBI is all the way up like that. However, many people make the mistake. They're thinking that I am an employee, I can save money. Okay, I can save enough money, so when times to do investment, I take the saving, go straight into I quadrant to do the investment. Now, this is a very dangerous move. Based on Robert Kiyosaki, there is a growth. Why? Can you imagine you lost the money over here but you have a job? And then by the time you ding dong, you think that you are able to have a very stable strategy in investing, you decided to go into I quadrant and then you retire with I quadrant. But you forget one thing, the mindset of an employee and the mindset of an I quadrant is very, very different. At age 23, when you invest, you lost the money, you can have the time to rebuild again. But at age 55 or 65, when you retire, when you lose money here, there's nothing to fall back on. Okay, there's nothing to fall back on. So the safest way for us to move is actually from E quadrant, go down to S quadrant first, so that you are able to have your mindset shift to prepare sense of security no more. It means from E to S, you have to let go your security. And for S quadrant to a B quadrant, okay, from S quadrant to a B quadrant, you need to be able to let go what we call the immediate gratification. All right? Immediate gratification. That means you do, you get paid. You don't do, you don't get paid. But in order for you to go into the B quadrant, you do, you still don't get paid in the beginning. That's the reason why you have to let go. Once you let go, you have the patience, build the system 1 year, 2 years, then you see the curve at the back coming in. Alright? So once you have done B quadrant, it allows you to generate the percentage, the profit. Never use your saving. Use the profit to finance your investment. A lot of the times, most of the I quadrant, they build the business, the profit margin is there, and then they use that to invest about maybe 10%. When they invest, in the beginning it's a loss, so it doesn't affect their stability. They just use the profit from the business to run. After a while, they stabilize, and then the I quadrant invest into the business again. So always stay on the B and I quadrant. So once you understand this, today we have to ask ourselves, entrepreneurship being in the B quadrant in Singapore in today's world, there are many universities, especially NTU. The next one will be SMU, that's what I heard. They are pumping a lot of emphasis on entrepreneurship, even in many of the universities on the site as well. So what you need to know one thing is, being in the B quadrant, entrepreneurship training is the basic. Okay, today, what I'm going to talk about is, instead of just entrepreneurship, I'm going to suggest a platform, okay? How you can actually do this, integrating with the technology of today, okay? Moving forward, I'm going to go on to the slide. All right, come.